Okay, so you just sold your house and you assume that the buyers want paint cans. Or let's flip this around. You're a buyer, and man, that seller's tractor would really do great to clear snow in the wintertime on your new property. So, what stays? Hey, what's up, everybody? Brian K. We're going to dive into some real estate 101 on what stays behind in a real estate transaction. So, okay, we're going to set the stage here. Let's have some fun here and say we're on a 5 acre property and you got a beautiful home with a shop, okay? So, in that shop, the seller has every paint can from every project in the house that they've done since 2001. A lot of buyers appreciate having those paint cans left behind because they've got the paint code on there. Listen, that paint can is probably dried up by then. Using that paint's no good. But if you want to do some touch up on that room with the really weird yellow, but you don't want to repaint the whole thing, we've got to find that color. So, boom, we take it down to the hardware store. Easy peasy. Not every buyer wants that. And the seller is not required to leave that behind. Okay. So, what is supposed to stay? Okay. Contractually, if you're under contract to buy a home on a property, the home is supposed to stay. They're not supposed to take the shop if it's set down as real property. So, anything that's been set as real property, according to that legal property description, is included in the sale of the property. Okay. That means anything that is glued or screwed, at least in the state of Idaho, check with your local attorneys or real estate agents, wherever you're at. Anything that's glued or screwed to the wall is considered to stay. So the ceiling fan in the living room is considered to stay. However, the refrigerator is negotiable. Okay, so now what's some common stuff? Washer, dryer, refrigerator. Those are the three common items that people either leave or ask if they're going to stay. But man, you might really like the drapes in the living room, or like I said, the snowblower or the tractor out in the shop. What's that look like? Well, now we start to get into negotiations. This was all stemmed because of a funny email that I saw where it reminds me of sometimes people want some ridiculous stuff. The email mentioned that some buyers really wanted some wooden toilet seats, which is absolutely disgusting in my opinion. And I've had buyers ask if they could remove the wooden toilet seats. Um, but the reality of it is anything that is set as real property or glued or screwed to the wall stays. And you can negotiate in the refrigerator when you write the offer. Or let's say you're doing a little bit more research and all of a sudden you realize or you see that they've got a great goat. Never saw the goat last time. You're at the inspection and they've got a goat there. You may ask for that to be left behind. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Folks, I want the real estate deal to go through, right? That's our job. That's what you've hired me to do on either the sell or the buy side. And personal property can get a little bit tricky, right? So if we're selling a tractor, and we're putting it into the contract. I want model, I want serial number. Personal property is much better handled outside of the real estate transaction. Very commonly, refrigerator, washer, dryer, they get swapped around. But if this guy's got a 1968 Corvette sitting out in the shop that you just absolutely want to have, and you're not going to blow the deal apart on whether or not you can get the car. That should happen outside. Like if you're not going to buy that property without getting the Corvette, then you've got to include it in your offer or in your negotiations. Talk with your local representative about what that looks like. When it boils down to it, though, I will tell you many a times. I had one, for instance, where the buyers went over to the house. There was some intricacies about this house, and the seller wanted to walk us through the house and show us how some of the stuff works, some pumps, weird voids in the wall, right? Oh, hey, this is where you can hide your stuff when you're out of town, that kind of thing. Well, when we're going through there, my buyers start talking to the sellers, I had to leave after about an hour and a half. 3 hours later, those guys had negotiated a bed, they had negotiated toolboxes, a snow plow, a pickup truck. Like, all that took place outside of the transaction, right? So if you are dead set that as a seller, you want that ceiling fan and that is screwed to the wall, that better be in your negotiations. That's not something that you can just fluff around with afterwards. If you have your absolute heart set on the stained glass window that's in the bedroom or the office, you need to put that in the contract prior to ever accepting it. That's definitely crucial. Hey, I hope this helps, man. If you guys like it, subscribe to our channel so you can see new ones coming along. We're going to keep you full of real estate content. You got something you want to hear, drop us a line. BK knows the way.